new details have emerged from the Netflix Tomb Raider animation monstrosity, and it's pretty much what you would imagine from Netflix and what we've been seeing from Tomb Raider outside of the remasters, because I must add, the remasters have been phenomenal. But outside of that, let's go ahead and dive into this topic today. So this Geek Vibes Nation, I'll share more of my input and stuff like that after I tell you guys just about what Geek Vibes Nation have shared. They said some details from the animated Tomb Raider series. Lara Croft has a James Bond-esque has a James Bond-esque edge and runs her own business known as Croft Industries. So creative. She will also have a tech team with more modern gadgets and weapons. Team's members include Zip from the game and Jonah, because of course they can't let Lara Croft be a solo adventurer as she always was before, until Crystal Dynamics got a hold of the series. And honestly, the movie was a big thing that did that as well. It's just a Hollywood-esque change that went on. But let me go into this and then I'll share some of the comments as well, because some people don't know Lara Croft's history. They don't know how she was created. They only know the Hollywood version onward and so on and so forth. So hopefully I can help shed some light on this with some of my comments that I made. I said runs her own business. They made her an actual girl boss. This is so cringe. Lara Croft's original bio had her rebel from her family to pursue her own life outside of the aristocratic expectations placed on her. Now she is a shadow of her father, and her whole identity is around her family name. Talk about missing the whole point. They have no clue what they are doing. So yeah, a lot of people have lost sight on Lara Croft as a character. In her original bio, her dad wasn't an archaeologist at all. They changed that and made her follow in his footsteps. That wasn't the thing. The whole point of her character was that she grew up from a wealthy aristocratic family. She had all these expectations on her. They had an arranged marriage for her with the Earl of Farrington. She ended up enduring a plane crash in the Himalayas at 21 years old. And after being the sole survivor of that, it just awakened this. It awakened something in her to want to live an adventurous lifestyle, the adrenaline rush. She didn't want to live like an aristocrat and all that, and so on and so forth. Her parents ended up disowning her for those reasons, because she would not move forward with the marriage with the Earl of Farrington. They ended up disowning her. People think that, oh, but she's rich. She inherited her family's wealth and the mansion and all that stuff, which is not the case. She funded her travels by writing books. That's how she funded her travels. It wasn't from inheriting her family's wealth. Now, she did inherit the manor, Croft Manor, from her aunt. So not from her dad, wasn't given to her by her mom, nothing like that. Her parents weren't unalived. She wasn't looking for them. She didn't have all this mystery around, oh, my family, oh, this and that. They disowned her, and that was the end of it. She had no loose ends. She had nothing keeping her from the adventurous lifestyle that she wanted to live. And so by changing all of these things, they changed the entire dynamic of Lara Croft as a character, her motivations, and so on and so forth. I mean, we even see in the game as early as Tomb Raider Legend, and that's when Crystal Dynamics, their first entry into it. And I know a lot of people love Tomb Raider Legend. I agree that the aesthetic is really good, but those of us hardcore Tomb Raider fans who have been with the series for a very long time, since the 90s, we know that it changed Lara Croft as a character by giving her that tech team. Oh, she no longer works alone anymore. I mean, she has worked with Zip in the past in Tomb Raider Chronicles, but for a brief portion of the game, it wasn't a regular thing for her. Not only that, but their dynamic back and forth their back and forth banter, it was a lot better than what we've seen in Tomb Raider Legend, which was just Zip and Alistair saying, Lara, be careful. Oh my goodness. No, don't do that. Oh, I'm scared for you. Please be careful. Please. It was so cringe. I hated it. It's like, let her do her thing. She is capable. That was the worst thing about Tomb Raider Legend, was the headset, all that crap. I mean, not to mention that the game was watered down, babied down, people will argue with me about this just because Lara Croft looks good in it. I will say aesthetically, probably might even be the best Lara Croft has ever looked. Physique wise, I would say probably. She looked, wow, she looked great in Tomb Raider Legend. So I will say that much. But yeah, they changed so much of the dynamic of who she was as a character, her motivations, so on and so forth with that, which was a shame. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of these comments, and then I'm gonna show you guys some of the pictures if you haven't seen from what we can expect from this animation that is going to be a giant trash fire. So here we have Manuela, who says, how can they get this franchise even more wrong? Lara was never an industry Lara authored books and traveled for sport and fun. What are they doing to this franchise for the past 10 years or so? Everything Tomb Raider stood for is being put into the drain. She is so right with that. Haley here says, okay, so this isn't a show about Lara Croft or Tomb Raider. Got it. Exactly. And what we've already seen was stuff like this crossover, this tabletop, that, oh, you know, Lara Croft's no longer a Tomb Raider anymore. She is a seeker of truth. She has learned from her problematic past. So they better not forget to add the epitome of diversity right here. Oh my goodness. Just say it's a skin suit and has nothing to do with Tomb Raider aside from the appearance of the main character. Exactly true. And even then, they don't even have the appearance that on point. Because as we see here, I mean, this is that very standard, and I made a video about this as well, but this is a very standard Netflix lesbian design of a woman. It's not terribly egregious. It could be so much worse, but it's just very, first of all, this outfit with the shoes, this just isn't something Lara Croft would wear. So while Lara Croft, she definitely rebelled against her aristocratic upbringing and, you know, wanted to do her own thing, she still was very refined, very classy, and that didn't leave her. That element did not leave her. So I just could not see classic Lara Croft wearing something like this. If you look at her physique and all that too, they play it very safe. They don't completely get rid of, they didn't completely flatten her chest or anything like that, but they just gave her very big boned body structure, which isn't Lara Croft. She doesn't have, I mean, look at how huge her hands and her wrists are. She just looks very big boned, very stocky. And so while she still does have the bigger chest, if you see some of the sideways shot, look at this. Yes. See how she's very barrel chested, like from the side, her chest sticks out like right here, really far. It's just it's a very butch female form. She doesn't, I mean, she's just stocky. She's just a stocky woman, which isn't how Lara Croft was created to be. Lara Croft was created to be curvy and real curvy, not the hijacked definition of curvy people now they want to call fat or chubby curvy. That's not what curvy actually is. Not what the definition was before. Now, if a woman describes herself as curvy, she'll be fat. Like, that's what you can expect. But that's not what actual curvy is. An actual curvy woman was like you see right here behind me. She was, what is this? Curves, right? So she had the big chest, the big bosom, the small, tiny waist, and the curved out hips. Her body structure had curves. So she had, you know, small and curvy frame, not a stocky frame. And this is why they can give her like, okay, well, we don't have to flatten her chest if we make her, we don't have to flatten her boobs if we make her barrel chested, right? That's how they do it. But yes, this just looks very standard, almost like Korra. This is just very standard athletic build lesbian character design, which I also expect to see out of this. Somebody asked here, well, first let's see. Kala says, I just cringe every time I see a new idea that Crystal Dynamics has for how they want to change Lara Croft. Like, we already had it announced this month that she's no longer a Tomb Raider, but a truth seeker, mending her colonial past. I didn't think it could get any worse. And the bar is underground at this point. It is. It is just, What the heck? Now, some people were like, wasn't she independently wealthy? Lady Lara Croft Trust Fund, etc., etc. She was wealthy from selling books and inheriting her manor from her aunt, not her parents. A lot of people forget a lot of this stuff. So here it is. Have they revealed that she is a lesbian yet? Not yet, but I expect it, which I absolutely think will happen. We'll see. Hopefully it won't. But and then look at this. This was going viral the other day. So Endymion says, what the F happened to Lara Croft? Now, what we see on the right here is the Call of Duty version of her. So yeah, not in the next mainline game, but this is supposed to be among the unified stuff, which they told us. What you see moving forward, this is all part of the unification process. You know, you can expect to see this kind of stuff. I mean, so this more or less is reflected on what we can expect to see. I mean, if you look at the concept art, which I made videos about that as well, which with that unified Lara, everything we're seeing from unified Lara more or less looks along these lines, which is not good. Very, very not Lara Croft, but this is Lara Croft. And you know, speaking of the remasters, guys, let's see, this just happened. This announcement just came to us over, I believe, the weekend. Yes. So I made a video about it. If you remember, Aspire they had that second patch for the Tomb Raider remasters, and they removed the posters on the Tomb Raider 3 expansion. So I'm very happy now to share that they did put the posters back. So Aspire made their announcement here. They said, thank you to the Tomb Raider community for your continued feedback and support for Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered starring Lara Croft. In the recently released patch 2, we made several texture and graphical updates to the HD version. As part of these updates, the posters in Sleeping with the Fishes, the Lost Artifact, were inadvertently removed in the HD version of the game. This has been resolved and these textures will be restored in patch 3. Do I think it was a mistake? No. But I don't know. Tonic Mole here says, I'm thinking it was likely a mistake considering it's Aspire, especially considering the update they went missing in was related to textures. It was probably an oopsie daisy, or Crystal Dynamics snuck in and removed them. I was under the impression that Crystal Dynamics requested that they were taken down, but that may not be the case at all. Maybe it actually was a mistake, but I'm so glad that this was addressed and that Aspire fixed it regardless of what the actual reasoning was. It's back. It's uncensored. That's what matters, because the classic games, the remasters especially, they were touted as being very accurate to the source material, and that is indeed what they should deliver, which in this case they are doing, thank goodness. So in terms of what we can see from the future of Tomb Raider, I don't have a lot of hope with anything mainline. With the Netflix adaptation of the animation, we're just seeing Lara Croft BFF Adventures, not actually Lara Croft. We're seeing Girl Boss. We're not seeing the same character. We're just not. We're seeing this butch woman who is cosplaying as Lara Croft, essentially. And she'll probably have a girlfriend or a female love interest. I would be shocked if that were not the case, especially with this Netflix tie-in. With what we've seen with the rumors, the alleged leaks, which I've made videos about, which who knows, I got so much backlash that it doesn't appear that they are going to move forward with all of that, but they definitely have wanted to make Lara Croft like girls, the new people who've hijacked the series, even though that was not ever a part of her history. I don't think Lara Croft should have any love interest at all, because it completely misses the dynamic of the character and what she was created to be, and her love for adventure. She's not tied down or held back by any people. She is she just, yeah. She's not the let me find a partner and settle down type, you know. That's just not her. She will be adventuring for all of time. That's how I see it. And yeah, I could go on about that forever. But anyway, there you have it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you would like me to read the Bible to you, you can catch me on my Bible channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mac, and then my weekly live stream here on this channel, Go Boom Live, on Wednesdays. So I will see you guys tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you all again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom. Miles Morales is Miles Morales.